Park for Hyde Park with Ryanair's low-fare flights to London Stansted, Luton and Gatwick.
Further scattered heavy showers tonight, spot flooding and isolated thunderstorms are possible as well. Mostly moderate southwesterly winds and lowest temperatures of 10 to 13 degrees. And now you're up to date on News Talk.
The Newsround on Off the Ball.
With UPMC Orthopaedic Care. When things don't move, rotate or bend like they used to, choose us to help you get back in action.
This is News Talk.
Good evening and welcome along to Wednesday night's Off the Ball. We're on our radio until 10 o'clock tonight, and coming up this evening we've got Tony Griffin with us from 7:30. So the All-Star winner with Clare is going to talk to us about refinding his love for playing hurling. He's lining out in the Wicklow Intermediate Hurling Championship at the moment, and he's playing well. He scored a goal in every game in the championship, and they're into the club semi-finals the weekend after this one. After 8 o'clock then we're going to be joined by Trevor Hogan, Zoe Lawler and Rebecca O'Keefe. They're going to talk to us about the possibility of sporting boycotts in relation to Israel, why they've been thin on the ground so far, I guess, and what can still be done. After 9 o'clock then we've got a Football Academy special on the Football Show. So the FAI revealing today the findings of their significant audit into academies in this country in terms of the effectiveness of them. So we're going to have Will Clark, the Academy Development Manager, in studio alongside Hans van der Elst, who's Senior Partner and Director of Football with Double Pass, the company that were charged with carrying out that audit. Our number is 0879 180 180 if you want to drop us a WhatsApp. Stephen Doyle will be delivering the news round momentarily. Stephen, how are you doing?
All good, Owen.
And Richie McCormack, how are you?
Owen, I'm good. Going through the old Irish starters in the EFL Cup tonight. Just old habits dying hard at this time of the evening.
Which of the starters is exciting you the most?
Interesting to see what big Sinclair Armstrong can do for Bristol City away to Fulham, because they're talking about selling him, so he's getting a rare start. Seamus Coleman is into the Everton starting 11 tonight at Mansfield. Mark Travers starting a goal for them as well. And just one out of the there's 4 Irish players currently at Grimsby, actually. Only one of them starting. Dara Burns is starting for Grimsby at home to Manchester United. Zach Gilson are not involved, but Riche Staunton is on the bench, as is Jays Cabia. So that's your Irish desk update.
I'll tell you one thing though, Bristol City will be doing well to beat that Fulham team, because it's a very strong Fulham team. Certainly players that were on the bench at the weekend against Manchester United, but good players that came off the bench, like Wilson, Smith Rowe, Traore, Jimenez. So yeah, it's a good
that front
Fulham
four is
team.
Terrifying if you're the Bristol City back four.
100%. Yeah. And interestingly, looking at the Manchester United team, I'll tell you one thing, they'd certainly want to be beating Grimsby Town, because while there's a couple of second string players there, they've got Harry Maguire, Cobby Mainoo, Dallo, Ugarte, Dorgu, Cunha, Sheshko and Diallo. Like, if they don't beat Grimsby Town with that team, it's going to be
apparently
wild.
It's got a historically terrible record against Grimsby Town. There's like 6 wins to 2 in favour of Grimsby. Last meeting in like 1945 or something like that.
Wind whipping in off the North Sea and Cleethorpes. Could
in
be
fact,
nice.
It's so long ago on that Flash Score don't even have the head-to-head.
Oh, right, okay. No Flash Score in 1945.
I think it was a different Grimsby or something like that back then. It was
Richie, I need your advice. Got a big show on Saturday, so we're pleased to announce that Off the Ball is going to have a significant part in the electric picnic output at Stradbally this weekend. So if you're down there this Saturday, make sure to get to the Here stage in the Minefields area. The hurling pod are going to be first up at 10:30 in the morning. So Will O'Callaghan is going to be up early. Go and get your breakfast run and watch Will O'Callaghan alongside
on Saturday morning.
On Saturday morning.
So Skehill is basically powering through. Skehill's not involved.
Skehill's not involved.
That's right. Yeah.
Skehill's not involved. So it's Paul Murphy and Seamus Flanagan, special guest. So that's at 10:30.
Powering through from Friday night.
At the same stage, at midday, I'm going to be interviewing a football man called Roddy Collins.
Oh, good Lord! No, you're going to be in. You will have absolutely no parts to play in this whatsoever.
The
Roddy show is coming to the Minefield on Saturday lunchtime.
And I should say as well, get down to Today FM stage at 1:30, because we're going to have Ireland's greatest sports songs being counted down by Nathan Murphy and friends. There are a couple of musical acts who are going to show up. I can't reveal, but there are some big name musical acts. Cannot confirm nor deny.
Declan
Nerney.
Stop the world and let me off. Come on.
What's going to be number one on Ireland's greatest sports songs?
If it's not put them under pressure, everybody involved needs to be thrown into a thresher.
I suggest that might actually be the. We might have given you the outcome there.
But Joshua goes to Stuttgart.
Top 8 as well, maybe?
Listen, 1A and 1B But it's like putting under pressure is 1A for sure.
You've hosted a big night with the Rodfather himself. How do you go about hosting a big lunch or a big kind of morning event with the Rodfather?
Hold on tight and enjoy the ride.
Okay. Fantastic. Okay, that's great advice from Richie McCormack.
He's going to be steering you. You will have no part in this. It's all Roddy.
I look forward to it, Roddy. So it's the here stage in the minefield area. So no coleslaw on the hurling pod breakfast rolls, I presume, asks Mick. I think it's James Cahill against coleslaw. So why is not showing up?
Who's putting coleslaw in a breakfast roll, Mick? No, okay, great.
I wouldn't be against it. The news round is with you.
What?
Bloody Gen Z.
Oh my God!
Now that you say it, it's like I could tolerate that.
This is not sausages you're talking about here.
In fact, I might actually ask for that next time I order breakfast.
The grease interacting with the main. No, you can't be doing that. That's
nothing wrong with that whatsoever. The news round is with UPMC Sports Surgery Clinic. When things don't move, rotate, or bend like they used to, choose us to help you get back in action. You are starting with the LOI Academy story, Steve-O. So big audit, big funding from the government actually put into this audit. What were the findings which were announced today?
Yeah, indeed, Owen. The key finding is that the LOI Academy system trails behind countries ranked 51 to 100 in the men's and women's FIFA rankings. The report highlights significant gaps in contact hours for players and an immediate need for full-time staff at clubs. The global findings report was produced by the Belgian football consultancy firm Double Pass. Just a couple of key findings. 0% of League of Ireland clubs have a minimum of 4 full-time academy coaches, compared to 36% of clubs in FIFA countries ranked 51 to 100. Only 46% of LOI clubs have a full-time academy director, compared to 60% in that same cohort. Only 4% of LOI clubs have a full-time head of coaching, compared to 46% of those same clubs. Double Pass has issued a number of recommendations, such as a central academy, which will, central academy platform, which will require funding. The report comes in a week when we've seen Shamrock Rovers agree a €2 million deal with Arsenal for the sale of Victor Osimhen. Next January, St Patrick's Athletic striker Mason Melia will move to Spurs after they paid $1.7 million to secure the services of the Wicklow man. Will Clark is the LOI Academy Development Manager, and speaking to us here on Off the Ball, he believes that the government investment can produce more of those kind of players.
When we met our colleagues, in government and in the department, we basically went to them with an investment proposal. It's not like a handout that we're looking for. So again, it's almost like a kickstart investment, because again, we believe that we can develop more players like Victor and like Mason and so on. Again, as Hans said there, to generate the money needed to basically reinvest back into the system, and again to step away from the need to get support from external stakeholders.
Yeah, we're going to have Will Clark, that full piece, alongside Hans van der Elst from 9 p.m. tonight. It feels like we're edging closer, Richie, to this becoming a reality, but you still never know when it comes to getting funding for an FAI project greenlit by the government.
I think among the points that Steve-O actually pointed out there, one of the key ones, it comes in the Mark Scanlon thank yous, where he says he wants to thank Minister Patrick O'Donovan, Minister Charlie McConalogue, and the Department of Culture, Communications and Sport, because in them funding this audit, it would suggest that they've said, go away, find out independently what's there, what needs to be done, and how much funding would actually be required in this instance, and come back to us. And they've done that. So the FAI have probably put their best case forward for funding now, in terms of an actual paper, piece of paper that they can hand over to the government and say, this is independently what's been found wanting and where we stand against competitive nations in the rest of Europe. And as Steve-O mentioned there, if you do get these things off the ground, I don't want to sound callous in all of this, but you're practically printing money if you can produce a Victor Osimhen or a Mason Melia or whomever else, because those academy systems, with the level of money that is being thrown at young players by clubs in England and further afield, you're essentially going to be paying for them with a couple of sales.
Yeah, and I think they'll say that as well in the piece that we've done with them earlier on, is that they want this to be a self-sustainable industry.
It absolutely is. I think it's just basically getting the startup capital, and if you can get the startup capital from what they essentially will be the government, although the FAI would have a part to play in this too, made more difficult by the fact that they've announced layoffs as well today, which I'm sure Steve will get to too. It is that double-edged sword that they're playing with, in that they really have to up their game in terms of being a commercial entity, while also still having their hand out for government funding, which is 100% necessary.
Do you want to bring us that news on the layoffs today, Steve-O?
Yeah, it's really tough news for anybody working up at the FAI. Staff there will be offered voluntary redundancies in the coming days, with the association looking to cut its workforce. An FAI statement said that its restructuring plans will, quote, modernise how football is developed and delivered in Ireland. Compulsory redundancies may also be required, with the association currently employing close to 250 people. The FAI is still managing a large amount of debt, which is understood to be in the region of €40 million. I did a quote there from SIP2 I might come back to, but they've basically really hit out at the FAI over this news.
Yeah, they've been pretty much back and forth with the FAI in terms of how workers were being treated there anyway, up until this news broke earlier on today that there would be redundancies. It's just desperately unfortunate timing that these two strands of news come from the FAI in the same day, and it kind of shows the dire straits that the association is in and will be for the foreseeable. Yeah, just basically SIP2 put out a statement on their website today. SIP2 Services Divisional Organiser Adrian Keane said, quote, the FAI has shown utter contempt for its staff by outsourcing critical decisions about their futures to faceless consultants while failing to engage in any proper consultation process. This is an insult to the workers who have given their all to the organisation and to football in Ireland. The FAI has a duty to be transparent and accountable to its employees, yet it has kept them in the dark while threatening mass redundancies.
Withering enough, you'd have to say, and look, it comes, you know, and it feeds into the idea that all these stories about the FAI seem hopeful, and there can often seem a lot of optimism around these stories, but can there always be a chance that the FAI will be judged for situations like that, or situations of the past where it's still tarred with the brush of being an organisation that doesn't exactly have its house in order? Could that be something that slows down the Academies process? It's definitely a concern, I'd imagine, that's out there. On the pitch, Steve-O, we've had a couple of Irish representatives in the Women's Champions League today.
Yes, indeed. Well, Athlone Town's adventure in the Champions League has come to an end. Alas, Colin Fortune's team lost 3-1 to the Icelandic champions Breidablik in their second phase clash in the Netherlands. All not lost, though. The Midlanders will have their third place playoff this weekend as they look to seal a place in the Europa League.
Do you want to bring us tonight's football then?
Yeah, the second round ties, as we've been alluding to earlier on in the EFL Cup, continue this evening. Manchester United away to League 2 side Grimsby Town. That kicks off at 8. Before that, at 7:45, Fulham host Bristol City. Mansfield Town go to Everton, and Oxford United receive Brighton. Rangers have to come from 3-1 down in tonight's second leg away to Club Brugge in their playoff to progress to the main draw of the Champions League. And last time we checked, Robbie Keane's Ferencváros were 2-1 down, I should say, to Karabag. That's now 2-2 after 72 minutes, but Keane's side were 3-1 down from the first leg. That was the home leg. So about 18 minutes after playing that second leg.
That is a mental game, by the way. Completely up and down, back and forward, end to end from almost the first minute. And Ferencváros were really on top when they took that lead as well. They had chances to build upon it either side too. Weren't taken. Karabag pretty much took their first chance of the game, got a second as well, and from there on they seem home and hosed regardless of that second for Ferencváros. Callum O'Dowda found wanting as well for the Karabag second this evening too, so not a great night for neither Keane nor the player on the field from an Irish persuasion, Callum O'Dowda.
Yeah, he's since been taken off, Callum O'Dowda, as well. On the golf, Steve-O, we were waiting with bated breath what Keegan Bradley would do. Who's he gone with?
Well, Bradley has not selected himself in his captain picks for next month's Ryder Cup. He's gone for Justin Thomas, Colin Morikawa, tournament debutant Ben Griffin, fellow rookie Cameron Young, Patrick Cantlay and Sam Burns. They'll join the 6 automatic qualifiers for the event against Team Europe at Bethpage Black in New York. There was some reporting that he would pick himself, Keegan Bradley that is, in the 48 hours ahead of the announcement today. This is what he had to say about that earlier.
This was a really tough decision. I would say there was a point this year where I was playing a while ago, and you know, all these guys stepped up in a major way and played their way onto this team. And that's something that I'm really proud of and something that I really wanted. But it was an extremely difficult decision, and you know, but one that I'm really happy with. And I'm really happy with these 6 players, and I'm glad it's over. I grew up wanting to play Ryder Cups. I grew up wanting to fight alongside these guys, and it just broke my heart not to play. Really did, because you know, you work forever to make these teams, but ultimately I was chosen to do a job. I was chosen to be the captain of this team. And my ultimate goal to start this whole thing was to be the best captain that I could be. And this is how I felt like I could do this. If we got to this point and I felt like if the team was better with me on it, I was going to do that. I was going to do whatever I thought was best for this team. And I know 100% for certain that this is the right choice.
Do you think Team USA will come out wearing "Do It for Keegan Bradley" t-shirts during the foursomes on day one of the Ryder Cup?
It seemed, I was just commenting on this earlier in the office. It seems like a much lower key build up to a Ryder Cup than I can remember in recent years. This has been the main storyline. But that's the thing, and it's often been driven by Sky and by TV because it's their TV product and they kind of have to boost it as much as they can, and that's absolutely fair enough. But I just think the general feeling around this one has been a bit, all right, yeah, there's a Ryder Cup on in September.
They're all British and Irish lines out. There was so much Lions fever during the summer that they're just trying to pick themselves back up off the ground and get going for Team Europe against Team USA.
If you get the blue jersey on, Steve-O.
If you were in Keegan Bradley's position, would you pick yourself?
Look, I think listening to his comments there, like he
sounds gutted.
Well, yeah, he did. And, to be fair,
made a good case, and the rest of the selection team were like, no.
Like he did. Like in fairness to him, he's saying, look, I've got to pick the best team to win the tournament, and I wasn't good enough to make that team, and I think that's fair enough.
But he was good enough to make the team.
Well, he didn't feel he was, and
the pressure though, if you're a playing captain, has got to be insane because you have had a choice, you have had a hand in picking yourself, and therefore you've got to go up and collect maximum point. Like
it hasn't happened since the 1960s, so like that's the thing. It's going to be, as you were saying, like it's massive pressure on him then to actually perform.
Yeah. And perform in each of the, like, go out and do well in the morning foursomes, go out and do well in the four balls in the afternoon, then go out and do the same on the Saturday, and then in the singles on the Sunday you have to win your match as well. Like if you let up in any of those and you're the captain, you're getting pelters for that.
What if they lose by half a point? Like I appreciate
am I getting the betting app over there for this one?
If he had picked himself and they had lost with him picking himself, he definitely would have been open to more criticism than if they lose in this scenario.
Because it's all on Sam Burns then, really, isn't it? Because he's the one you're kind of looking at going, he's the one who got in instead of Bradley himself.
It makes saying in my ear you can't lose by half a point because of the math. Okay, I haven't done my maths correctly. Imagine if they lost by a point. Let's forget the last 30 seconds ever happened. But are you happy now, Mick? Are you happy now?
All right, Carl Vorderman.
I don't know. I think it's going to be something that comes up, but also this selfless act, this Keegan Bradley selfless act is what it's going to be.
Man of the people.
And it's going to be a cause now for Team USA. And, you are wearing Team USA colours in here, Stephen, today, the red and white.
I've been rumbled.
He'll make you a happy man, yes.
Bloody typical.
Make the Ryder Cup great again.
What you can't see under the desk is Steve-O's blue trousers with white stars on them. They are rather fetching, and they go
We
with
are going to do so much winning.
The US Open then, in terms of tennis, which former champion has had a good day, Steve-O?
It's been a good day for Emma Raducanu, who has completed a second successive dominant victory to reach the third round at the US Open. The 2021 champion and British number one, he's past the Indonesian qualifier Janice Chen in straight sets at Flushing Meadows. Victoria Azarenka was also a straight sets winner against Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova. The All-American clash was won in straight sets by the 10 seed Emma Navarro against Katie McNally. Zachary Svida won the first set of his second round match against Novak Djokovic, but the Serb has won the next three and is into round three. South African Lloyd Harris won the first set against Taylor Fritz, and he is now, well, he went off for a medical timeout, but it looks like Harris is okay. But Taylor Fritz, the fourth seed, is set to love down at that one. The 12th seed from Denmark, Casper Ruud, lost the first set in his match, just getting the latest on that one. Yeah, he's still a set to love down against the Belgian Raphael Collignon.
It's all steeper uphill for Raducanu from this point onwards, by the way. She probably has Elena Rybakina in the next round, and if she gets through her, it'll be more than likely Yasmin Paolini. So third round, probably looking like it for Raducanu. If I was
she's looking good. Like, in fairness to her, she
has played well,
really well. And and she herself was kind of saying mentally she feels like she's back to how she felt in 2021 when she won it. So, look, you're right. Like they're really tough hurdles to overcome, but she's won it before.
There was no second set wobble today, which I was kind of expecting when I was watching it. In that she'd gotten the first so easily. there was a couple of missed opportunities, like, you know, own first errors at the start of the second, and I thought, oh, here we go, and it never came, and she went through rather handily, and congrats to her. Rude has just level that match as well, by the way, 1-1. So
a texter's been in touch to ask any random Irish players going to turn up for Grimsby tonight to do United usually do when they pop up in a cup game.
Dara Burns is the only one starting. Zach Gilson is out injured, and they have Reece Staunton is on the bench, and Jays Cabia is formerly a Shells, wasn't he?
Yeah,
he scored for them recently in the league. I know he is, or I think he scored in the previous round, or maybe in league. Either way, he scored recently for Grimsby, and he is on the bench, so expect him to be sprung and try and test Aidan Heaven and Tyler Fredrickson in the Manchester United back three tonight.
Sean Scannell, according to Mick, was playing with them when they made the FA Cup quarters in 2023.
That's right, yeah.
Sean Scannell I interviewed many years ago.
Who's he playing for now?
Neil Warnock.
He's not still going, is he? He can't be still going.
No.
Sean Scannell.
Is
he still going?
34-year-old Sean Scannell.
Wow.
Playing for.
Oh.
You're not. It's
in England?
A National League South team.
All right.
Gravesend.
Harrow.
You're definitely closer, but it's I've never heard of this club actually. Hornchurch FC.
Ah, yeah.
Naturally, yeah, of course, yeah, absolutely, Hornchurch.
So that's the answer to that question if it ever comes up in a quiz question, folks. All right, we have time for one or two more stories, Steve.
Yes, indeed. Going on to snooker then on. Aaron Hill, fresh from knocking out the world number 2, Karen Wilson, was back in action at the Wuhan Open. Unfortunately, he did lose by 5 frames to 4 against Zhang Anda in their last 16 tie. And just to bring you up to date with the World Badminton Championships, Nat Wen was knocked out at the round of 32 stage. The 2-time Irish Open champion lost in straight sets to Japan's Kodai Narioka in Paris. Josh McGee and Moya Ryan also lost their last 32 match in the mixed doubles.
How was I closer in saying Gravesend to Hornchurch? How do you know that?
No, as in like just 2 syllables, kind of very English sounding thing. It was a phonetically similar thing, not geographically.
Are they close on the map?
I've got no idea. By the way, the manager of Hornchurch FC is a Dubliner called Daryl McMahon. Went from Cherry Orchard to Belvedere to West Ham United. At the age of 15 he went to West Ham United. So that's your little update on Hornchurch FC, Sean Scannell and Daryl McMahon.
They're not actually that far away, funnily enough. There you go.
On Google Maps there.
34-minute drive.
Told you. We'll have National League South Corner coming next Wednesday on Off the Ball. Steve-O, thank you for tonight's Newsround. Richie, thank you for popping in. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be talking to Tony Griffin next. Before the ads, Cash Machine.
News Talk's Summer Cash Machine.
Now, after our biggest ever winner last Friday, the cash machine has been reloaded for this week, and the number you now need to know is €200,000 exactly. There are 2 ways you can enter. You can visit newstalk.com/cash machine, where you can enter online, or you can text PLAY, PLAY, to 57557. That's 57557. You have to get your entry in by 3 p.m. next Friday. Then across the Go Loud network of stations, someone will get that call. If your phone rings, you have to answer it within 5 rings. Give us the exact amount in euro and cent, and you will win the cash. So remember that amount one more time, €200,000 exactly. Over 18.